Hey y'all, welcome to the GI Justin channel. I've got some news that's hot off the press, completely breaking to drop to you guys today that is a pretty darn big deal when you look at what we've been talking about recently with China and what are their feelings toward us? Are they actually trying to normalize? Are they biding their time? Are they doing the death by 1,000 paper cuts? We're expecting war with them in the next 2 years, and we're not ready yet. We're not ready. We've given tons of information and tons of weapons to Ukraine. We need to reload the stockpile. What is this huge news that just came out? Well, basically Microsoft has uncovered a stealthy and targeted malicious activity focused on compromising the credentials and network systems aimed at the critical infrastructure of the United States. So this group that basically created this attack is called Volt Typhoon, and they're a state-sponsored, basically cyber terrorist group based in China that focuses normally on gathering information and espionage. And Microsoft has decided with decent confidence that this group is pursuing the ability to disrupt our infrastructure and to infrastruct Chinese infrastructure ahead of this war that China's basically planning. It's like a tell in poker. You know, if this doesn't prove that China is planning on an all-out war against us, what does? You know, this is them holding their cards and basically executing a tell that shows us, hey, this is what they're planning. So what Microsoft basically does a big blog post, and during this big blog post, what they do is they'll let out all the information of recent attacks so that groups who do cybersecurity can fix these patches, fix the vulnerabilities, and be ready to respond next time these sorts of things happen. So in this blog, what Microsoft basically says is that Volt Typhoon, who is this Chinese hacking group, has been active since mid-2021 and is targeting critical infrastructure in Guam and elsewhere in the United States. In other places. During the campaign, these organizations are communications organizations, manufacturing, utilities, transportation, construction, maritime, government, IT, and education sectors. So basically, everything. Basically, it's everything we have in the United States. And this behavior suggests that they're trying to perform espionage and maintaining access to these critical systems for as long as possible without being detected, basically. Hiding in the background and waiting for the Chinese government to attack all of this infrastructure. And to achieve this objective, they basically put a huge emphasis on remaining stealth, staying in the background, not living off the land, basically staying in the back of these computers, collecting data, collecting credentials on local and network systems, putting all this data that they're taking into archived files to get it set up for them to steal all this information so that they can blast these attacks out. And they try to just kind of blend into the background of the normal activity and hang out there. And their campaign to target this critical infrastructure could have gone unnoticed. Thankfully, we have companies like Microsoft and Palo Alto and CrowdStrike who do a great deal of information security for the government. And, we also have, Microsoft Defender who probably have it on your home computer that does these sort of things and manages these things for the government. The National Security Agency has published a cybersecurity advisory about these issues, basically coming out and saying, hey, they're trying, they're doing everything they can through this initial access that they were able to get on these internet devices to basically get in and come up with these archiving of files and staying in the background. And I think that is the real story here, is that if it was just an attack for attack's sake, take, some of the ransomware on pipelines that we've seen recently, or denial of service attacks where their entire plan is just to shut down your ability to serve your systems, that would be one thing. But the fact that they are hiding in the background, not actually doing anything other than archiving files to take them out, shows that there is a dedicated cyber warfare plan in place. They rely on hanging out in the background and just taking all this information and stealing your credentials. So what I mean by that basically is, say you've got a username and a password that grants you authority to get into your network at your house. What they will do is get in there, take your authority, and get onto your network and give themselves, through a new user account, information. They'll take that information and they will upgrade their access to make themselves the admin, where you still are completely unaware, but they've upgraded their credentials for their username and login in the background so that they now have administrative rights to your network and you didn't even know it. And they'll just hang out back there and do that. And they're adding, basically, according to this report, keyloggers, where every time you type something, it goes into a log and goes into these archived files, and they're just holding on to it. Part of the problem, I think, there shows, like I'm saying, this intent to hang out in the background and wait. And the question becomes, wait for what? And the answer, I think, with all the information we have between these balloons, them harassing us over Taiwan, shows intent, in my opinion. Would it hold up in a court? Maybe not, but it does show that they are intending something. And the question remains to be, what is that? So another thing that Volt Typhoon has done is add a remote domain controller, which basically means they have a back door where they can kind of sneak in and access anything they want anytime they want, giving them command and control over our networks in all this critical infrastructure and taking screenshots of anything they want to take. I think, like I said, the most alarming thing here is most of the time with attacks, these attacks serve a purpose. They will be based on denying you the ability to operate. They'll be based on ransomware. Send us, you've seen this before, send us half a Bitcoin and we will unlock your computer. Or, the attacks on the pipeline where they say we want X amount of dollars and we'll open the pipeline back up. We've seen these before. What we have not seen is this, which is, hey, we're not actually going to do anything. We're just here to hang out in the background. I think it proves the intent that we've been discussing, that they're preparing for war with us. And we've got several videos. I'm going to link the playlist up here in the top at the beginning of the video where you can go back and look at this. I think they have shown their hand, and it is more than obvious that they're planning on full-scale war with us, at a minimum cyber war with us. And that's a disturbing and terrifying trend that I think we have to start getting ready for and planning for. So thank you guys for hanging in with me for this breaking news. It just hit the wire. You're the first ones to hear it from me, of course, because we're awesome. Thank you guys. Have an awesome day. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, right there, go ahead and hit that button. Subscribe to it so that you can get more breaking news and information like this from me, especially when it comes to, affairs of the world and the United States. So keep commenting and liking the videos. I'm having a great time discussing stuff with you guys. Have an awesome day.